Hey guys, Alex here. Yeah, it's been a long while since I've put up a video on this channel. I think it's been, again, over a month. And I know that's kind of a regular theme on this channel. I'm not very consistent in my uploads. I'm pretty slow and sluggish at, uploading regular videos. So I apologize. I've just been tremendously busy with, working. I'm right in the middle now, slap bang in the middle of the academic year, and I've just been bombarded with assignment after assignment, and then I've got to think about revision, and yeah, it's just a complete, it's so stressful at the moment trying to kind of figure everything out and get everything coordinated right. And I just haven't had the time to get on here and get involved in the VC and make videos. So yeah, that's kind of regrettable. I've missed doing it because I did quite a few over the Christmas break. So of course I want to get back into making videos at some stage, and hopefully I have a 3-week break over Easter, which is the Easter holidays start, I think in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks at the beginning of April. So yeah, expect some videos over that Easter break, those 3 weeks, and then I only go back for maybe a month, come back to uni for a month, and then I'm off for the summer. So, exciting times ahead. Haven't got too long now. I definitely think I kind of feel like I'm on the home straight, I guess, with, with uni and this year's academic studies. So, yeah, looking forward to getting back into, just getting back into the swing of the VC, making videos, and above all, buying vinyl, because that's one thing that I haven't been doing very much of at all recently, I guess, because, I've kind of depleted a lot of my, financial, some of the money that I built up over the Christmas period. I've kind of depleted that now. I haven't really got any money to spend on vinyl, so yeah, I mean, I haven't been buying very much, but I'm sure over the summer, when I start working again, I can, get back into regular, regular buying of records. But yeah, I wanted to come on here quickly and make a video today for a good friend of mine who actually sent me another VCLT package about a week ago. I think I received this. And yeah, as I say, this guy's a great friend of mine, or I consider him a great friend of mine. Here in the VC, he's been incredibly kind to me over the kind of 3 years that I've been a part of this. And his name's Jeff Otis, or Jeff Ortis, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but yeah, his YouTube name is Jeff's Final Scene. You guys might have seen him comment on your videos. He doesn't make videos, as far as I know, at the moment. And I've talked about him in the past. I've made videos showing you guys other VCLT packages that he sent to me. And yeah, I was lucky enough to receive another amazing parcel, another amazing package of records from Jeff about a week ago now. And I thought, pay my respects to Jeff and show my gratitude by making a video and showing you guys what he sent me. So yeah, I was blown away by this package. I wasn't expecting it to come so soon. Jeff had talked about sending me records again, and we were kind of talking about it on Facebook, and of course I was just like, of course if you want to send me anything, then I'd be very happy to receive anything that you can afford to send to me. And then this package kind of shows up out of the blue a week ago, so yeah, that was an amazing surprise, especially considering I'm not really buying any records at the moment. And he sent me 3 records, which I'm going to show to you now. A couple of Dylan records here, and then we got a Beatles record, so a nice mix of things. Got some old stuff here, some original stuff, and a new record, a kind of recent reissue. So some great stuff here, and I wanted to say thank you to Jeff. Thank you so much for thinking of me in my kind of time of need when I can't go out and buy records on my own because I haven't got the money to do so. It's amazing that somebody halfway across the world is sending you records and kind of backing you up when you can't do it yourself. So yeah, gonna go ahead and show you what he sent me. Playing in the background is Fleet Foxes' Helplessness Blues, of course, from 2011. This was definitely one of my favourite projects from that year. Of course, there was a few great albums which came out in 2011. PJ Harvey's Let England Shake, Kurt Vile's Smoke Room for My Halo. But I think Fleet Foxes, probably the best album, I would say, of 2011. So, yeah, just giving it another spin. Anyway, getting back onto the task at hand here. So the first record, I'm going to show the Beatles one first, and I believe this is the 2012 reissue. Of course, the Beatles had their entire catalogue remastered, I think in 2009. Yeah, they had their entire catalogue remastered and redone and remixed. And of course, they were put out on CD in 2009. And then I believe in 2012, the remasters that appeared on the CDs in 2009 were then pressed onto vinyl, and they put out another box set which cost like £3 million. A bit of an exaggeration, it's like £300, I think, for the entire box set of these 2012 reissues. And Jeff sent me one of the albums. I think this is a 2012 reissue, but Jeff, if you watch this, I'd appreciate it if you could confirm that for me, because I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, he sent me a very nice reissue of Revolver, of course, from 1966. And the reason why I think it's a 2012 reissue is because there was this little label in there, which is the label that appeared on the 2012 reissues that I've seen. The only thing that confused me about this was that on the sleeve it's got PCS 7009, and I'm guessing they just reprinted the same catalogue number onto the reissues, but I wasn't quite sure because I went on Discogs, and the 2012 reissues didn't seem to have that same catalogue number, so yeah, I'm assuming this is the 2012 reissue, and it sounds good. I really like what they did. The CDs sound awesome. The ones they did back in 2009. And these sound pretty good as well. I mean, I haven't experienced this as an original. I've never had an original copy. This is, in fact, my first copy of Revolver that I've ever had. So, yeah, as far as I can tell, it sounds great. And, the only thing that I would say about some of the stereo songs, some of the songs that were mastered in stereo for the Beatles, is that they sound maybe a little bit disjointed, I would say. They're quite separated. You've got a lot of separation in the sounds. And I have heard, the stereo versions being criticised for that. But, I'm a fan of this. And, of course, Revolver is an absolute classic. One of my favourite Beatles albums. And, it's so hard to pick between Beatles albums. I think every album they made was, kind of different and quirky in some way. So it's hard for me to say, this is in my top 5, say. But, it's an amazing album with, a handful to a dozen, maybe, of my favourite Beatles songs of all time. So, yeah, I was stoked to receive this. As I say, my first copy of Revolver. And thank you so much, Jeff, for sending this to me. Now I'm going to get into the couple of Dylan records that he sent me. He sent me a couple of Bob Dylan records. And again, both of these I don't have in my collection. They're new to me. And yeah, I can't thank you enough, Jeff, for sending these to me, especially the second one that I'm going to show. But this first one is an album from the 1980s that Bob Dylan put out. I think this came out in 1989, if I remember correctly. And it was hailed, I guess, as kind of a comeback album for Dylan in the late 80s. He'd gone through a pretty quiet and kind of patchy spell with his albums. Of course, being Dylan, he was still putting out very regular albums, kind of one every couple of years, I guess. But they weren't getting great reviews, and, Dylan was starting to be seen as kind of an aging rock star, kind of past his peak and never coming back. and how wrong people were, because in 1989 he put out this, in my opinion, stellar record, Oh Mercy. I've always loved the cover on this. I don't know why. I don't know if Dylan painted this himself, but yeah, this is Oh Mercy from 1989, and I think this is maybe a second or third pressing of this. It's definitely not an original as far as I can see looking on Discogs, but again, yeah, this came out in 1989, and I think this is a copy from 1989, and it sounds great. It hasn't got any real damage to speak of. The record sounds great. Columbia label. See, we got the standard red Columbia labels that were pretty common on Bob's albums, right to the, going right back to the beginning of his career. And you got the pattern sleeve there with the credits there on the back. And yeah, this is an amazing thing to have now. I mean, I didn't have a copy of Oh Mercy. I considered buying the musical vinyl reissue of this, which came out a few years ago, I think back in 2010. Many of Bob's albums were put out again on musical vinyl, and I'm a big fan of the musical vinyl reissues. But after receiving this from Jeff, I don't think I'll bother, because this, this sounds amazing, and it's, it's an old copy, and it's pretty much, the vinyl's pretty much as good as new. So yeah, again, thank you so much, Jeff, for sending me this record. I'm a big fan of Oh Mercy. Many of Bob's 80s albums I just can't vibe with whatsoever. I think, everything he did kind of after Slow Train Coming, between Slow Train Coming and Oh Mercy, which is pretty much the whole of the 80s, to be honest. I'm not really a big fan of that era in his career, but I think after Oh Mercy, he kind of refound some form, I guess, and, some of his 90s albums, especially, kind of like Time Out of Mind, great album, and, he kind of, came back to, I think, the peak of his powers with Oh Mercy and Time Out of Mind and Love and Theft and Tempest, which came out a couple of years ago. So yeah, thank you so much, Jeff, for Oh Mercy. And now I'm going to get on to the final one, which this was probably the best thing that Jeff sent to me, definitely the thing I appreciated the most. I'm so happy that he sent this out to me. It's so kind, because these are pretty sought after, especially the insert that comes with this. Pretty sought after records, so thanks, Jeff, for this one. He sent me a nice copy of Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, which originally came out in 1967, I believe. That's not the back cover, by the way, that's the poster that I put in there. And yeah, this came out in 1967. This was, I think, his second Greatest Hits album, the second compilation album of Bob's songs to come out. The first one I have back at home. I think this collection of tracks is far superior to the other compilation album that was released in the 60s. And yeah, the cool thing, probably the coolest thing about this, that's the back cover, with images of Dylan in 1966 on his world tour, which is pretty cool. I'll read the songs out. We've got Rainy Day Woman, number 12 and 35, Blown in the Wind, The Times They Are Changing, It Ain't Me Babe, Subterranean Homesick Blues, Mr. Tambourine Man, Like a Rolling Stone, I Want You, Positively 4th Street, and Just Like a Woman. And I would have to say that especially the second half of this, the second side of this compilation album, is full to the brim with classic Dylan songs. Some of my favourite 60s Dylan songs are on the second half of this, on the B-side of this. So yeah, great collection of tracks is the first thing. But yeah, probably the coolest thing, the thing that excited me the most when I received this, was the very rare and highly sought after poster, which came with, I believe, was issued with all of the originals and some of the later pressings as well of the Greatest Hits album. and I'll show it to you. Might have to go back a bit. Here it is, with Dylan there written on the bottom. This is a poster designed by, as you can see up there, Milton Glaser. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Milton Glaser, I don't know. But yeah, this is a very rare poster. You know, these sell on eBay for pretty large amounts of money nowadays. Milton Glaser or Glaser, whatever his name is, was a pretty famous and pretty highly regarded pop culture artist back in the kind of 50s, 60s, and I believe later on. I think he's still alive. As far as I know, he's still alive today, and yeah, he designed some pretty cool kind of graphic posters and symbols back in the 50s and 60s. I think he did the I Love New York symbol that's kind of become pretty iconic, the kind of like I heart NY symbol. I think he was the original person behind the design of that kind of symbol. So yeah, really happy to have that poster. I've been meaning to try and find a copy of the Greatest Hits album that came with the poster, and they go for pretty high large amounts of money. So to receive one as VCLT gift is that much better. So yeah, I want to say a massive thank you yet again to Jeff's Vinyl Scene for sending me these amazing records. I can't thank you enough. The third VCLT package that you've sent me now in a couple of years. It's amazing. This vinyl community is mind-blowing, man. It's just completely mind-blowing, and yeah, I really want to get something back out to you at some point. I really want to repay the favor and send you something, maybe something that's quite hard to find in the US and maybe easier to find here in the UK. So I'll think about that. Maybe I can find something when I have a bit more money in the bank, and I can get a VCLT sent back to you, because you've done more than enough for my record collection. So I want to kind of repay the favor at some point. Yeah, guys, that's the VCLT that I received. Thanks for watching, and as I say, I should be back to make some videos over Easter, and definitely over the summer break, kind of May onwards. I'll be back into the swing of this, and hopefully making many more videos. I want to carry on with my Bob Dylan album review series that I started over Christmas, and a couple of other things that I've been meaning to do, but it's just way too stressful at the moment to really think about doing them now. So yeah, stay tuned, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.